The camera opens in a dimly lit apartment where Anna sits alone, the only light coming from her laptop screen, casting eerie shadows across the walls. The room is cluttered with remnants of a typical young adult's life: half-empty coffee cups, scattered textbooks, and clothes strewn across the floor, hinting at her chaotic state of mind. Outside, a thick fog rolls through the streets, muting sounds and creating an almost otherworldly ambiance. As Anna scrolls through her social media feed, the screen flickers slightly, drawing her attention to an unfamiliar account, @locallore. The account has a small but rapidly growing following. The posts are darkly captivating, featuring chilling local legends accompanied by haunting images. One particular post catches her eye, detailing the disappearance of a boy named Lucas who vanished without a trace while playing near a forest rumored to be haunted. The accompanying image is a faded photograph of Lucas, with a shadowy figure lurking in the background, barely perceptible but undeniably there. The caption reads, "Some say the forest holds the secrets of those who never returned." As she reads, a chill runs down Anna's spine. The thought of a missing child strikes a deep chord, stirring something inside her. She feels an inexplicable connection to the boy, as if his story is calling out to her. Curiosity piqued, Anna decides to delve deeper. Her heart races as she clicks through more posts. Each legend details eerie events and disappearances linked to familiar places in her town, creating a web of horror that pulls her in. As she continues to scroll, she becomes oblivious to the creeping darkness around her, fully engrossed in the chilling tales that feel all too real. Suddenly, a gust of wind rattles the window, causing Anna to flinch. The room feels stifling, and she glances nervously around, as if the stories are manifesting in her surroundings. Shadows seem to flicker at the edges of her vision, yet she brushes it off, attributing her fear to the unsettling content she's consumed. As she closes her laptop, ready to go to bed, her phone buzzes with a new notification from @locallore. A wave of excitement mixed with dread washes over her as she reads the message. Some stories choose their listeners. Are you ready to hear more? With a lingering sense of unease, Anna prepares for a restless night, oblivious to the dark path she's about to embark on. As the days pass, Anna becomes increasingly consumed by @locallore. The camera captures her at various locations: a coffee shop, her university library, and even in her bedroom, each time her eyes glued to her phone, frantically refreshing the feed. Her once vibrant surroundings fade into the background, overshadowed by the unsettling narratives that grip her mind. Anna's daily life transforms into a ritual of exploration, obsession, and dread. She loses track of time, her meals become scarce, and her friendships wane as she becomes isolated, preferring the company of digital shadows over real-life connections. The eerie stories flood her mind, each more chilling than the last. Posts detail urban legends that haunt her hometown, recounting tales of spirits and malevolent entities lurking in familiar places. One evening, Anna stumbles upon a post detailing an abandoned amusement park at the edge of town, notorious for its eerie atmosphere and rumored hauntings. The accompanying image is a dilapidated carousel, its painted horses eerily frozen mid-gallop, as if caught in a moment of eternal despair. The caption reads, "Those who enter rarely come out the same." Anna feels an irresistible pull to visit the site, driven by a mix of fear and intrigue. With a flashlight in hand, Anna ventures into the overgrown entrance of the amusement park one foggy evening, the air thick with anticipation. The camera follows her trembling hands as she pushes aside the rusted gate, the creak echoing through the silent night. Each step on the cracked pavement sends chills up her spine, the shadows playing tricks on her mind. She captures images for her own social media, showcasing her exploration as an adventure, unaware of the darkness closing in around her. As she walks deeper into the park, she feels watched. The wind whispers through the trees, and she catches glimpses of fleeting shadows in her peripheral vision. Her heart pounds in her chest as she approaches the carousel, and she hears faint laughter echoing in the distance. It's chilling and disembodied, sending shivers down her spine. Just as she decides to leave, her phone buzzes. A new post from @locallore details her exact location, saying, "You've taken the first step. Don't turn back now." Frantic, Anna races back to her car, her pulse racing as she drives home. The line between reality and the legends blurs, leaving her terrified yet exhilarated. She returns to her apartment and dives headfirst into her research, spending sleepless nights piecing together the chilling connections between the legends and recent disappearances in her town. Each discovery feels like a breadcrumb leading her deeper into a dark maze. Her apartment transforms into a war room of sorts, with newspaper clippings, photos of missing persons, and printed posts from that local lore plastered across the walls. She becomes fixated on one name, Sarah, a girl who went missing last summer after attending a party near the same park. The realization hits her like a cold wave. Sarah was a classmate, someone she once knew. The final shot lingers on Anna's haunted expression as she gazes at the wall, her mind racing with thoughts of the past and present colliding. As she sinks into despair, her phone buzzes again. The screen reveals a chilling message. Beware, Anna. Some stories aren't just tales, they're warnings. You might be next. As Anna's obsession deepens, the atmosphere becomes increasingly claustrophobic. Her apartment, once a safe haven, transforms into a prison filled with chilling reminders of the stories that haunt her. The camera pans over her cluttered walls, the dim light casting long shadows that flicker ominously, enhancing the sense of dread that permeates her surroundings. Haunted by Sarah's disappearance and her chilling connection to the local legends, Anna feels an urgent need to act. She decides to confront her friends about her findings, hoping to ease her growing paranoia and gain their support. However, as she discusses the links between the legends and real-life disappearances over coffee, her friends dismiss her concerns with laughter, brushing it off as an overactive imagination fueled by social media. Feeling isolated, Anna decides to conduct her own investigation. Armed with her camera, she visits the sites mentioned in @LocalLore's posts: dark forests, abandoned buildings, and the haunted lake. The camera captures her fear and determination as she wanders these eerie locations, trying to document any strange occurrences. The environment is foreboding. Thick fog rolls in, wrapping around the trees like ghostly tendrils, and every rustle in the underbrush sends her heart racing. During one visit to the haunted lake, Anna's flashlight beam catches something glinting beneath the water. Curiosity piqued, she inches closer, heart pounding in her chest. The camera shifts to show her reflection in the water, surrounded by a chorus of whispers echoing the legends. As she reaches down to grab the object, her fingers brush against a cold metallic pendant, the same one Sarah wore the night she disappeared. Panic grips Anna as she realizes the gravity of her discovery. She stumbles back, her heart racing as the whispers grow louder, merging into an overwhelming cacophony. Just then, her phone buzzes violently in her pocket, nearly startling her into the water. It's a notification from @LocalLore. You're getting closer, Anna, but will you like what you find? Haunted by the pendant and the knowledge that she is now directly tied to the disappearances, Anna races home, desperately trying to piece together her findings. The camera captures her frantically scrolling through social media, piecing together the timelines of the missing individuals. The room darkens around her as she discovers a pattern. Each disappearance coincides with a post on @LocalLore. The realization crashes over her like icy water. These aren't just stories, they're invitations. Anna's mental state deteriorates as she spirals deeper into paranoia. She begins to see shadowy figures lurking in the corners of her vision, and the whispers from the legends follow her everywhere, echoing in her mind. The once familiar sounds of her apartment, the creaking of the floorboards, the wind rattling the window, transform into ghostly reminders of her obsession. In a fit of desperation, she decides to confront the truth about Sarah's disappearance. She returns to the abandoned house mentioned in the legends, believing it holds the answers. The air is thick with dread as she steps inside, flashlight trembling in her grip. The camera pans over peeling wallpaper and broken furniture, the remnants of lives once lived. As Anna explores the darkened rooms, she discovers a hidden door leading to a basement. The creaking hinges sound like mournful whispers, and her heart races as she descends into the darkness. The camera follows her as she shines the flashlight around, revealing walls covered in photographs of the missing individuals, all connected by red string, a twisted web of the past. Among them, a recent photo of Sarah stares back at her, eyes wide and frozen in fear. Just as she processes the horror around her, the door slams shut behind her, The room plunges into darkness, and the whispers grow deafening. Anna's breath quickens as she realizes she is not alone. The camera lingers on her wide eyes filled with terror, leaving the audience teetering on the edge of suspense as the screen fades to black. As the darkness closes in around Anna in the basement, the air feels thick and oppressive, suffocating her with the weight of hidden horrors. The camera captures her panic-stricken face, illuminated only by the flickering light of her flashlight. Shadows dance across the walls, and the oppressive silence is punctuated by the distant sound of dripping water, a rhythmic reminder of her isolation. Trapped in the pitch-black room, Anna's pulse races. She fumbles for her phone, but the screen is cracked and unresponsive. The whispers around her become clearer, forming fragmented sentences that chill her to the bone. "You shouldn't have come here. You were warned. They're waiting." Each phrase echoes in her mind, mingling with her growing fear and confusion. Suddenly, a figure emerges from the shadows, a dark silhouette that sends Anna reeling backward. The camera zooms in on her horrified expression as she tries to back away, heart pounding in her chest. The figure steps forward, revealing a hooded person with an unsettling grin that contrasts starkly with the dread in the air. "Welcome, Anna," the figure whispers, their voice dripping with malice. "I've been watching you. Your fascination with the stories brought you here, just like the others." The camera captures the figure's outstretched hand, revealing a twisted charm bracelet made from the trinkets of the missing, a chilling reminder of the lives they've taken. As Anna processes the horror before her, the room seems to shift and pulse with energy. The walls are covered with more photographs of the missing, their expressions frozen in fear and despair. Among them, Sarah's picture looms large, and Anna's heart sinks as she realizes she is not just another observer. She is now part of the grim collection. Desperate to escape, Anna musters the courage to confront the figure. Why are you doing this?" she demands, her voice shaky but defiant. The figure chuckles softly, a chilling sound that sends shivers down her spine. "Stories need an audience, Anna. They need a final chapter. You've given me plenty of material, but you still don't understand. This isn't just about fear, it's about legacy. The stories live on, and you can either be a part of them or be lost like the others." Suddenly, the whispers crescendo into a chaotic symphony of voices, echoes of the lost and forgotten. Anna feels the weight of their despair pressing down on her. The flashlight flickers, and the room begins to swirl, distorting her reality. Shadows of the missing swirl around her, their expressions haunting and pleading, as if trying to warn her of the impending doom. In a moment of clarity, Anna spots a dim light spilling from a crack in the door at the top of the stairs. Fueled by adrenaline, she pushes past the figure, her heart racing as she stumbles toward the light. The whispers morph into frantic cries, urging her to escape. The camera captures her frantic ascent up the stairs, the figure's laughter ringing out behind her, mocking her desperation. Just as Anna reaches the top of the stairs, the door slams shut, locking her in. She hears the figure's voice call out, "You can't escape your story, Anna. You belong to the shadows now." Panic surges through her as she frantically pounds on the door, her screams echoing through the empty house. The camera lingers on her face, filled with terror and determination as she searches for another way out. As Anna scans the room, she notices a window slightly ajar. The camera shifts to show her desperate escape attempt. Just as she pushes through, the camera captures a flash of darkness behind her, a shadow darting closer. The screen cuts to black as her terrified scream echoes, leaving viewers breathless, caught in the grip of uncertainty about Anna's fate. The screen fades in from black, revealing a hazy morning light filtering through the trees surrounding the abandoned house. The camera pans to the window Anna barely escaped through, but there's no sign of her. A thick silence envelops the area, amplifying the sense of foreboding. The whispers from the previous act linger faintly, hinting at the darkness that still pervades the air. Days pass, and the townspeople begin to notice Anna's absence. Her friends gather in concerned clusters, sharing worries and tales of her obsession with local lore. The camera follows them as they drive around town, desperately searching for her, their conversations filled with a mix of worry and skepticism about the legends Anna had been investigating. Meanwhile, one friend, Jake, decides to investigate Local lore himself combing through the account's posts. The camera captures Jake's expression of disbelief as he scrolls through the chilling images and stories. Each post eerily hints at events leading up to Anna's disappearance, intertwining her fate with those of the others lost to the legends. He becomes determined to uncover the truth, convinced that Anna's obsession led her to a dark place. Jake decides to confront the figure from the basement, believing that this person holds the key to finding Anna. He tracks the online presence of @local lore, leading him to a dilapidated house on the outskirts of town, an eerie replica of where Anna vanished. The atmosphere is thick with tension as he approaches, the camera capturing the abandoned structure, its windows dark and foreboding. With a flashlight in hand, Jake steps inside, echoing Anna's previous descent into fear. The camera follows closely, revealing the same chilling decor, photographs of missing persons, whispers echoing through the walls, and the faintest glimmers of movement in the shadows. Each step he takes echoes like a heartbeat, amplifying the tension and uncertainty. Just as he reaches the basement, Jake encounters the hooded figure. The camera captures the tension as he demands to know where Anna is. The figure responds with a chilling grin. "You think you can save her? She's part of the story now." The figure's voice is smooth yet menacing, sending shivers down Jake's spine. He realizes he's stepped into a web of horrors far deeper than he imagined. Jake turned to leave, but the figure blocks the exit, the walls seeming to pulse around them. Shadows swirl, whispering the names of the missing, drowning him in despair. Desperate, Jake pulls out his phone, intending to record the figure's confession, hoping to expose the darkness that has plagued the town. In a moment of vulnerability, the figure reveals a dark truth. "This town feeds on stories, Jake. You can't escape the past. Anna is a part of it now." The camera captures Jake's expression of horror as he realizes that every person who vanished contributed to a gruesome narrative that keeps the darkness alive. The figure motions toward a wall filled with Anna's picture, among those of others, an eerie testament to the lives entwined in the local legends. With a surge of courage, Jake charges at the figure, hoping to escape the suffocating atmosphere. As they grapple, shadows around them coalesce into indistinct forms, ghostly figures of the missing, their eyes filled with despair. The air grows heavy with their anguish, causing Jake to falter. Suddenly, a blinding light erupts from Jake's phone as he activates the camera's flash. The light pierces through the darkness, momentarily dispersing the shadows and allowing him to break free. The figure screeches, retreating into the shadows as the whispers become frantic, merging into a cacophony of desperate voices. Jake bursts out of the house, panting and shaken, his heart racing. He glances back at the structure, which now appears more alive than ever, its windows flickering with shadowy movements. As he pulls out his phone to call for help, he notices a new notification from local lore. "Some stories never end, they only evolve."